Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge in financial freedom. Today, I've got a few headlines. One's about Larry Fink and his $700,000 Bitcoin prediction. He did have a few other ones that go with percentage allocations, so we'll dive into that one when we get to that article. Other than that, I do have another article about Ethereum and some ETF possibilities that might be heading our way. But let's dive on in and get you prepped for some success today. We did see a bit of a mixed bag in the markets yesterday. We've got Apple sitting up 0.53% from yesterday, and the pre-market seeing a little bit of some sell-off, down 0.29%. We've got Nvidia up 4.43 off of some big AI news, sitting a little bit down in the pre-market, down 1.89%. Got Berkshire Hathaway sitting down just a bit, down 1.72, and in the pre-market seeing a little bit of some buy-in, up 0.28%. Got Amazon sitting up 1.86 from its close. In the pre-market, also seeing a little bit of some sell-off, down 0.37 right now. We've got Eli Lilly sitting up 1.57, and the pre-market also seeing some sell-off, down 0.78%. We've got ExxonMobil sitting up 1.74 in the pre-market, seeing a little bit of some buying pressure, up 0.16%. We've got Tesla sitting down 2.11 in the pre-market, continuing on those losses, down 0.66% right now. Got P&G sitting up 1.87 in the pre-market, sitting down just a little bit, down 0.27%. We've got Microsoft sitting up quite nicely off of that AI news as well, up 4.13 in the pre-market, also seeing some sell-off, down 0.69%. We've got Google sitting up 0.2%, and in the pre-market looking quite neutral, sitting down just 0.05. We've got Meta also up from its close yesterday, 1.14 in the pre-market, seeing some buying pressure, up 0.4% right now. For the crypto side of things, we're looking pretty red. We've got Bitcoin sitting down at 1.75, Ethereum sitting down at 1.07, got XRP down at 3.31, got Dogecoin sitting down at 4.18, BNB is sitting down at 1.54. We've got Solana getting hit a little bit hard, down to 5.31%. Cardano sitting down at 1.94. Got Tron sitting down at 3.08. And Chainlink is sitting down at 3.41. Let's hop over to that economic calendar. We do have a little bit of data coming out this morning with some initial jobless claims and the continued jobless claims. Looking like we will get a bit of a revision on the continued, up about 10,000 from last time, and looking to tick up on the initial jobless claims. So we'll have to keep an eye on that data coming out at 8:30 this morning. That will be the market mover for the morning coming out of the US. We do have crude oil stock information coming out today because we did have a holiday for Monday. And for the big news of the day, we will be getting Japan's inflation rate at 6:30 Eastern Time. That will be that year over year. And at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, we have the Bank of Japan rate decision, and that will be the big market mover for the evening. We'll have to keep our eyes on that quite closely. It is already forecasted that they will be hiking 25 basis points. I've got a poll in the chat about that, and it started off with FUD winning, and it looks like DAMP is now at that 50% mark. So we'll kind of have to see if we get a bit of a damp or if it's kind of fuddy. I think it might be just a little bit fuddy. We might get a bit of a move down. I don't think it is as hard as everyone is expecting though. Let's hop over to that fear and greed for the stock side of things. We're up 1 point, still in fear. Trying to get back to that neutral range though. We will kind of have to see what happens with that Japan rate decision and going into tomorrow. We might see a bit of some sell-off on the stock side of things if people are really pricing in that 25 basis point, and it is going to be a damp on the market. For crypto, we are down 9 points and out of extreme greed. This is what I like to see. When we get these smaller moves down, it allows for that more explosive upside, especially since there's no liquidity really sitting too far down to drag things down on that higher term time frame. We do have some liquidity sitting to the top side of us at that 103,500 range. And to the bottom side, we've been taking out that liquidity quite slowly. We've got that 101,100 still lit up just a bit that we can come back down and grab for that 24-hour on the 3-day. You can kind of see most of that liquidity is back to the top side of us. The bottom side is starting at that $100,000, just below 101. We do have some sitting at that 100,000 as well. Below that, we've got some light other hot spots sitting at about 98,200. For the top side, that liquidity is starting at 107,400 and goes all the way up to that 108,000. There is a lot more liquidity sitting to the top side of us, so once we clear this out, got a pretty nice drag back to the top side on things for those market makers. For that 2 week, you can kind of see that it is quite clear on both sides of us. We do have a bit of a hot spot sitting at that right below 100,000 and then back at those highs as well for a light hot spot as well. For that 1 month, big hot spot still hasn't changed. It is that 71,000. And that's kind of that oh crap level that I don't want to see us hit. Let's hop over to the chat real quick. Say good morning to everyone. I see chat is moving. We've got Donato Cabrera in here this morning. We've got Jay Violet saying good morning to everyone. We got Arsan246 in here. We've got username. I'm excited to be BC's DD in Vegas. Times will be wild. I will most definitely be there. We've got Buck looking for a smoker for us, so we might be able to have a little rib off. We'll see how that goes. Got Crypto Coin Mindset in the chat. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great morning so far. If y'all haven't checked out his channel, you should most definitely do that. Let me get that in the chat for y'all. That way you can get that checked out. He's got a great channel. We've got Rashad in here. Good morning to you, sir. And it looks like everyone's just saying good morning to everyone. Got BC, the jazz radio of the morning. I appreciate that username. Try to keep that voice nice for y'all. We got Crypto Billy in here. Good morning. I enjoyed your video today, sir. I appreciate every single morning video. It really is a nice way to start the day. BC, you don't want to lose the rib off against me in front of everyone, do you? I don't care as long as I get to eat some delicious ribs afterwards. So it's a win-win either way. if I get to eat some delicious ribs at the end and I lose and everyone says you made better ribs, I'm still okay because I'm eating ribs. So, yeah, rib chat. All right, let's hop over to that Bitcoin chart real quick. As you can kind of see, we're getting a little bit of a bounce here at the platinum pocket this morning. Looking like we have a little more downside on this 4-hour chart though. That MACD line just crossed that zero as we're getting a little bit of some slow up on that. We are waiting for some money flow to come back in. The volume is quite low here on this 4-hour. So definitely looking for that bottoming point on things. I do have a little area right below our Fibonacci retracement sitting at that 99,300, which apparently is what TradeFly has been shorting Bitcoin to. So kind of some confluence there. If we do see a bit of some selling pressure coming out tonight from Japan's rate hike, I do have another lower level sitting at about 95,300. We do have that 1618 on a retracement sitting a little bit lower than that, about that 93,500 mark. So a few areas we could potentially see some bounces depending on how much selling pressure comes into the market from the Japan rate decision. Would really need to see a lot of selling pressure come in to hit these lower levels, about that 93,500 mark. I would like to see that 99,300 hold. I will just have to wait and see. We'll take a look at that 1 hour. And as you can kind of see here, we are getting a bit of some bottoming signals for a shorter term time frame. That 102,700 mark is going to be a bit of a battle for us. As you can kind of see here, we push back up towards it and are failed to reclaim that. That was a strong area where we got some bounces off of here before we tried to reclaim that 236 that started this whole downtrend that we're seeing now. We did get another launch off of it back here if you look at shorter term time frames back here, and then it was a nice little bouncing point back here as well. So this 102,000, which is now resistance, is going to need to be turned back into some support if we want to continue this upside trend. If not, you do have a bit of a wicking range where you could see that golden pocket be hit and continue that downside. We do have that potential resistance line above us as well that I have drawn out that we might try to make a bit of a pushback up to. That's around where some liquidity is sitting as well. Let's take a look at that 15-minute, see what the morning might be bringing our way. As you can kind of see with that prime oscillator, we are getting that curvature back down to the downside as our prime oscillator is sitting light red. That money flow is kind of slowing up on some selling pressure, so we will need to see a quick change in that to really push things back up if we want to hold this platinum pocket. Your MACD's also getting that same curvature, looking across that indicator line on the bottom side of things, so a little bit of some bearish pressure for the morning. Your volume is quite nice here on this 15-minute, and we just need that quick switch back over to some buying pressure if we really want to maintain some of these ranges. You do have a bit of a reversal signal flashing, but I think I would need to see at least 2 more of those to have some confidence in that we might be at an actual bottoming point. Other than that, I would really look for that downside, potentially seeing that 99,200 mark hit before we try to make a pushback up to the upside. The Japanese effect is what I see, says RCN246. Smash for the rib chat, says Jay Violet. We've got username saying good morning to Crypto Billy. We've got Buck in here dropping the ribs in the chat. Good morning to you, Buck. We were just talking about Vegas and potentially cooking some ribs there if you can find us that smoker. Crypto Coin Mindset saying thank you. We've got I wish I could come to Vegas from Jay Violet. Well, if this cycle is quite profitable for you, maybe we can see you in Vegas in 2026. It would be great to see you there. If anyone has any alt requests for me, go ahead and drop those in the chat. I don't have a lot of assets that I was looking at this morning. I just had those two news articles that I was really reading through to see what might be coming our way. Crypto Billy says announcer voice, and our second baseman Donato Cabrera. That does sound like a baseball name right there. I don't have a great announcer voice. I just have a nice smooth jazz voice, as the username likes to say. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink can see a world where Bitcoin hits 700,000. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink may have made one of the most bullish cases for Bitcoin on record. Fink, while giving a televised interview to Bloomberg at the World Economic Forum in Davos, began speculating about what might happen if investors, both big and small, decided to allocate 2 to 5% of their portfolio to Bitcoin. I was with a sovereign wealth fund during this week, and that was a conversation. Should we have a 2% allocation? Should we have a 5% allocation? If everyone adopted that conversation, it would be 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 per Bitcoin, said Fink, seemingly trying to temper any overreactions to his statement. He quickly added, I am not promoting it, by the way. That is not my promotion. That seems like a bit of a promotion to me, even though he is backtracking on that. Back in 2021, Fink said BlackRock had seen little demand for digital assets, but the CEO's appreciation for Bitcoin appears to have evolved significantly. In 2023, Fink talked about Bitcoin digitalizing gold and made crypto in general more democratized and much cheaper for investors. Then, roughly a year ago, BlackRock launched a spot ETF, the iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF IBIT, which is now the largest on the market with assets under management of nearly 57 billion according to the block data dashboard. Amid the US election, President Donald Trump, who has floated the idea of creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve, the price of Bitcoin recently hit an all-time high of more than 108,000 as of 11:53 a.m. Eastern Time. It was trading hands at 103,000. This is definitely something I've been interested in, especially if you start seeing these bigger allocations from sovereign wealth funds or even just your average retail who has been coming in through these institutional buying pressures being given a higher percentage allocation. We already have, I believe it was JP Morgan, who has said that they will be recommending a 2% allocation through their means. They are the holders of all of the ETFs of Bitcoin. So they do have that going for them as well. This is a lot of buying pressure that might be heading our way, and everyone's been asking, where is retail? Well, this is retail. They're not going for those flashy, crappy coins that just make a bunch of money and then crap on the market and they get stuck in. They're they're going with the big number one and the number two, which is Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they're just going about it in different means. This is definitely going to damp some of that rotation of capital that we've been seeing in the cycle before now and the cycle before that one, as we saw very explosive altcoin rallies. I think we see a little bit less of that, but I would like to see more stability, and that's what we've seen in Bitcoin this time around. Mark Dutch, yep, his mic is always very, very low. I do have a new mic that will be heading this way in February. Just trying to get that they say audio is important for keeping an audience. Thank God he has a loud voice. Well, I will talk a little bit louder. Sometimes I get into those lulls on things. We have Trump-linked crypto platform 33 million Ether transfer spurs ETF staking hopes. Sentiment towards Ethereum has sunk to depressed levels in recent times, but the latest maneuvers of President Donald Trump's related crypto platform could spur hope for a reversal. World Liberty Financial, the decentralized finance platform linked to Trump's family, this week deposited a total of 10,000 Ether or 33 million to liquid staking platform Lido Finance to stake and earn rewards, blockchain data by Arkham Intelligence showed. Lido is the largest Ether staking platform with 31 billion of assets posted on the platform. The transactions came after World Liberty Finance acquired more than $110 million worth of crypto assets, including ETH, Wrapped Bitcoin, Tron's TRX, Aave, Link, and Athena's ENA, as CoinDesk reported. The maneuver raises hopes that regulators will soon allow staking for spot ETF exchange traded funds, SEC's Commissioner Hester Pierce, who now leads the agency's crypto task force, said last month in an interview with Coinage that she was open to considering staking for ETFs. Former SEC Chair Gary Gensler, known for his anti-crypto stance in the industry, stepped down on January 20th with Trump entering office. Staking would boost appeal for investment products, letting investors earn a steady stream of yield on their holdings and reducing product fees. U.S. spot ETH ETFs combined hold 12 billion of assets according to SoSo value data. The potential regulatory approval could also jolt ETH's price and adjacent ecosystems like Lido. Ethereum's future has been under the microscope recently amid sagging prices related to competitors, leadership disputes, and worries over the project's development roadmap. ETH recently dropped to a 4-year low against Bitcoin and credited market shares in trading actively to rapidly growing blockchains like Solana. I will never trade ETH again after, but watch how quickly the sentiment changes when the staked ETH ETFs come through in the next few weeks. Followed crypto trader Pentoshi said ETH will have a multi-week gigapump at some point in 2025 around staking ETF news. If you're too long ETH, that's when you dump and switch to a better performing asset, said Alex Kruger, partner at Asgard Markets, in an X post. And I've definitely talked about the potential of Ethereum staking in these ETFs, and that would be my selling indicator for my long-term bags on Ethereum, because I don't think it bodes well for the long term, especially when they already have some other problems on their with management, and some of the roadmap does not have full confidence in me on where they want to be on things. They kind of struggle a lot, and for crypto, which is supposed to be decentralized, Ethereum doesn't seem very decentralized to me. Try a brave little toaster might help, Dutchy. French toaster, good morning to you. I'm streaming to my TV, but can't do that while I'm using Brave browser. Hopefully, this new mic, when it comes in, fixes things. It's been, I had to order some other things as well to get the new mic to work. So we will see if that helps things out. Had lunch a couple minutes ago, says Jesse Gulak. 4 eggs, baked 4 eggs with bread. That's quite a protein-heavy lunch there, sir. The amount of commercials on Piper's stream is insane, every 3 to 5 minutes. That's weird. I've got it set up on an 18-minute timer, so I don't know why it's doing that for you. It's I watch it in the background, and I've only had 2 ads so far, so I don't know why it's different for yours. Got French Toaster saying good morning to everyone. Let's see, did we have any alt requests? Uh, let's scroll up, scroll up. I'm not seeing any yet. I could have swore I saw a few alt requests. Well, if anyone does have any alt requests, go ahead and drop those in the chat. I will take a look at those after I take a brief look at that US dollar and JPY pair. And then I did want to take a look at gold as well. Larry Fink on CNBC right now. Oh, well, I might have to go back and watch that one. There we go. I did see some alt requests. We had RCN246 asking for Sol and for Vet, so we can definitely take a look at those. And then any other alt requests I will take a look at as well. We got SWE and XRP being requested. SWE and XRP. And then potentially AVAX as well. If I got that time. We see XDC network. Well, maybe if we got some time, we can take a look at that one as well. All right, maybe a band-aid in the chat as well. Good morning to you. Good morning to Baba Yaz. Hope y'all are having a great morning so far. We got Moho in the chats as well. Good morning to you, Moho. BC wearing a hoodie like it's cold out. Yeah, it is 13 degrees out. 13 Fahrenheit. I'm not sure what that is on the Celsius off the top of my head, because I'm not great at that quick conversion, but -9 in Celsius. So yeah, it's a bit chilly. I stay in a basement, so that doesn't help anything either. So we've got oh, let me get that swapped over. I was talking about silver the other day and wanting to see it hold some key levels, and we have now dropped below those levels. I wanted to see that dump back down to $30.98 hold, and we have lost that level. Looking for some more downside on things. We do have some strong support at $30.56 that we could potentially make, and that would be that first little bouncing point I'd look for silver. It'll really depend on how these markets are going to be open and how much of that risk on they're really pricing in with these Japanese rate hikes we will be seeing. I did take a look at gold this morning as well. Gold is also getting a bit of a pullback. I did say I wanted to see the top side of our Fibonacci extension be turned into some support. That was at 2,741, which we got a bit of a bounce off of about 4 hours ago, and we are now pulling back down towards. We are seeing a bit of a rollover on our prime oscillator. Our money flows staying nice and solid. The volume's ticking down just a little bit, and gold just broke that zero line on things. So might see that little bit of a drop back down to 2,733 on things before we get that move back up to the upside on gold. We do have that US dollar and JPY pair, which is going to be very important to look at, especially given this Japanese rate hike decision that will be coming our way this evening. You are seeing the US dollar at some highs against the Japanese yen. Let me scroll that out to a daily view, and as you can kind of see here, you want more of these lows here on things back like in August when we saw the US dollar was at lows against the Japanese yen, which kind of bodes well for switching over back into your currency on things, and we're not anywhere close to those levels. You are seeing the US dollar make massive highs against the Japanese yen, which might slow down a little bit of that pressure for a switch over back into their currency. Look at the Nikkei 225, it's moving up, not good. Well, and this is this is their assets being bought up. But what I'm worried about is the moving of their money from our markets back over towards their markets. You are seeing some sell off in the pre-market in certain sectors, but for overall, you're going to want your currency at a better evaluation against the dollar if you're really going to want to move some of those over. I know interest rates also take a factor into things, so we'll kind of have to see how this plays out all together on things. I think you might see a little bit less of a move over this time as they wait on the US dollar and JPY pair to come back down on things and kind of see if that second rate hike really brings in the full selling pressure on things. Darren does things saying money going back into Nikkei and is near. Well, we can take a look at that one as well. Let's get over to my TradFi tab. We got all and then the Nikkei. And it is making some highs. Really getting a bit of some buy off, but we will kind of have to see how much buying pressure it does get on things. It's just going to have to depend. They are at some highs as well, so really going to need to see how much money starts flowing into it tonight, and see how much of a sell-off we get at market open. You are seeing a bit of some sell-off on things like Apple. Nvidia's getting a bit of some sell-off. Amazon was getting some sell-off. It's not getting as much anymore. Tesla was getting a bit of some sell-off, but overall, there's not a massive sell-off in the pre-market right now, so we're really going to have to wait on that market open. Was fun while it lasted. We'll kind of have to see if it can hold some key levels on things when we get a bit of a move to the downside. I think it's a little more fuddy than anything. I know I've talked about the Japanese rate hike and the carry trade for a while, but I've been really watching that US dollar JPY pair because that's what I was watching last time around when I said there was the potential of it, especially since they were sitting at the rates that they'd been sitting at for so long. Moho in the chats. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. Username saying, I thought Arsan was asking about Fubu. I was going to say I didn't know they were still around. Hey, I've actually got a pair of Fubus. They are some pretty nice shoes. So I can definitely take a look at that some other time. I've got a lot of alt requests. Jay Violet saying, oh, no, Jesse Gulak saying 8 more likes and need to smash it, friends. Thank you for that, Jesse Gulak. Let's take a look at AVAX. I already had that pulled up from yesterday. As you can kind of see here, I had talked about that 50% line on a Fibonacci retracement being a level that we would need to hold on things. And it looks like we've already lost that. You've got your MACD looking to the downside on things. Broke that indicator line on the bottom as you have your prime oscillator also getting that move down, looking quite red. Really going to need to see that money flow coming back in on things. Mark Dutch saying Jesse Goulash. Oh, I love some goulash. We usually have that on Mondays here, so easy to make, and one pot recipes are always nice. We did get that break below our fair value gap as well, where I said we might see a bit of some upside pressure on things. Let's see if we did see that upside. Zoom into that 15-minute. As you could see, we did see a bit of some battle at the 50%, but we did see that drag back up to the fair value gap and kind of really confirm that breakdown on things. Let's zoom that back on in to that hourly, kind of see what the next day or so might be bringing our way. Bought at $1, says Arsan246. We've got that 1 hour, getting that reversal signal, those oversold signals as well. Really going to need to wait for that confirmation of a bottom though. We do have plenty of buying pressure sitting right below us at $34.51. If we can turn that into some support on a shorter term time frame, I would look at some continued upside. Uh, Really going to need to depend how hard Bitcoin dumps. If we do get a bit of some dump on Bitcoin, we do have some levels below us, sitting in a bit of a range. Let's draw that out as a rectangle there, from bottom side being that $32.80, and all the way up to these candle bodies here where we've got $33.51. Let's turn that into a buying box. Wrong green. I hate that green. It's kind of ugly. There we go. That one shows up way better on the charts there. You have a bit of a buying range if we are unable to maintain these levels here at that $30 and for about 49, almost 50 cents there. So if we drop below that, you do have another buying range here down at that $32.86 all the way up to $33.51 that I would look at if we were unable to maintain that, because we're getting a big dump on Bitcoin. We do have that golden pocket sitting right below us at $30.40. Let's zoom into that 15-minute again. Take a look at what the morning is bringing our way. Let's zoom it on in. Zoom in at prime oscillator. As you can see, we're getting a bit of a move up on the prime oscillator. It is sitting a little bit red there. Here is where the misfits hanging out. Alex O Crypto, good morning to you. Drop those otters in the chat for Alex O Crypto. There we go, dropping those otters. Is Fubu, if Fubu is back, does that mean Mr. Allen's is too? I missed 29 for 2 for 50 commercials. I don't know about that one, but I know Fubu does make some great shoes there, username. So you might want to check those out, because I do own a pair of Fubus and they go great when they look great when I'm skating. So I like to longboard when weather is permitting. So those Fubus go great for some skating shoes, and they're still decently priced. So I think I spent like $60 for my Fubus, and they looked quite nice. Alex O Crypto saying Bufu. All right, that $34.49 level does look like something that might get hit this morning, as we are seeing that prime oscillator look quite red. You are getting a bit of some push off of here, but we are in a pattern of lower lows and lower highs on things. So really going to need to see that switch over down here, probably at our lows. If we don't see continued buying pressure coming in, the volume is picking up, so would just need to see that be some buying pressure on things. Billy, I tried to drop the Billy Goat Tails link in here, but unable to. Well, I know Mark Dutch always has that one handy. So Alex O Crypto saying I'm long. You're long on Bitcoin, sir? Did you hop in a little early, or it looks like that platinum pocket might hold on things. So definitely something, definitely might see a bit of some upside pressure. I've been looking at a bit of some downside pressure with the Japanese carry trade. We are Dave. No, it wasn't Dave Digital. It was Darren Does Things saying we are seeing the Nikkei being bought up. So really waiting to see. US dollar pair is US dollar. JPY is smoke and mirrors. Doesn't tell the full story. need to watch the Nikkei and the CME Forex swap rate on CME. That's what he was saying about things. So really waiting to see how much selling pressure we see at that market open on things. I think it might drag crypto down just a little bit further. We did have Sol and Vet requested. So let's pull up Sol first. Sol was seeing a bit of some sell-off this morning. Let's zoom that on out. I don't know if I'm on the right chart here. This is my naked chart. Yep, this is my naked chart. Let's get over to my other Solana chart. I believe it was this one. Yes, this is the one that has all my drawings on it. I got too much going on in TradingView. There we go. Crypto Billy dropping his Billy Goat Tales video. Thank you for that, Crypto Billy. I see Anthony Soprano in here. Good morning to you, sir. And Rashawn Karan, how far can it go down? Aerodrome Finance. Well, if I have some time, I will take a look at Aerodrome Finance as well. We did have a few other alt requests to get through. Hopefully we have time for that one as well. As you can kind of see here, we are seeing a bit of some curvature here on the daily, getting a bit of some flatness on that money flow on things, and a bit of curvature here on the daily. We do have those initial jobless claims as well, which are looking to tick up and might be some downside pressure for the morning as well. Let's zoom it on in, see what that 1 hour is bringing our way on things. You do see a bit of some bottoming signals here on your prime oscillator, getting some flat movement on that as it is light red, seeing a bit of some curvature back down to the bottom side of things. You do have your MACD, which just ended up breaking back here, that zero line on things. So really seeing a bit more of some downside pressure over the next day or so. We do have that 236 though, which would be that strong support area if we are unable to maintain some of these levels down here at about 238, 200, kind of bottom of the 240 range, where we did see a lot of battling here. As you can kind of see, the wicks are in both directions as they battled it out between those bears and bulls. If we are unable to maintain this range, I would really look at that 236 being hit all over again. That's that $232 range. Let's zoom that on in to the 15-minute, kind of see what the morning might be bringing our way. As you can kind of see, we are pushing to the upside on our prime oscillator as we're kind of moving sideways in this range. Very light red on things as volume is picking up. Looks like it's more selling pressure for now though. You have that MACD line, which is crossed back to the bottom side of our zero line. So looking to see a little bit more of some downside, potentially hold this 800 moving average. As you can kind of see on the way down, we've stepped on all of those big moving averages to try to see if we could kind of hold them on things. We're now sitting at that 700 moving average and might see a little bit more of some drop. That 700 is sitting at about 236, where we might see a little bit of stability before we move back down to that goal, that 236 there. Let's take a look at VET as well. Got Soul knocked off. We got Lunar Beaches in the chat saying good morning, happy BOJ day. Oh yeah, it is that Bank of Japan day, so might see some volatility in those markets. We had talked about that a little bit earlier, and we are seeing the Japan Nikkei get bought up as Darren Does Things had talked about earlier. I might have to do a little bit more of some diving into that during the day when markets are open, when I have some free time between my CDL classes. We did have VET requested, SWE, and XRP. I got XRP right up here, so we can hop into XRP first and then drop down to sweet and vet. Ha ha ha. You think Alex bought that fake? Oh, bought the. Are you talking about the the little device that allows the fathers to feed their babies like the moms do? I could see him potentially doing that. He also went to a baby massage class. Well, he was talking about that the other day, and apparently he got stuck with the black baby. So I don't. That was quite a funny story there. I definitely enjoy all of Alexo Crypto's baby stories. It's I'm not hop on the new medical device. Not sure. Hip on the new medical devices. Well, those have been around for quite a while. It's the little fake boobs that you just like strap on like this. It kind of looks like a a shoulder strap bag, and it just sits there, but it's a boob, and you load a bottle in there, and then you can just feed your baby. It kind of keeps them on that whole latching on thing. So we got XRP losing that platinum pocket on a Fibonacci extension, as that MACD is getting a bit of some rollover at same as the prime oscillator. We did get about a bunch of overbought signals waiting for that reversal signal to kind of flash as well. Just looking like it's getting a bit of some cool down here on the daily. Nothing too strong to indicate we might drop too low unless Bitcoin really gets those deep drops today at market open. Yeah, I didn't do all that, says Lunar Beaches. I wouldn't either. It seems like a lot of extra work when they make bottles. So, but the world is going quite crazy. So you do see a lot of that happening. So, you know, I don't know. I think Alexo might do something like that if the wifey wanted it. So if there was latching problems, I feel like Alexo Crypto is the kind of man to do everything he needs to do. So we do have this golden pocket being a strong area of support that we might see hit. You do have that MACD breaking the zero line on things as we're creating some width from that indicator line. So really getting that curvature back down. But as you can see, as we get that curvature, we are maintaining that $3 range quite nicely on things. That is a nice little bouncing point we might see along the way. And if we see that continued selling pressure from the rest of the market, you might see that golden pocket come back into play on things. Uh, really going to need to see that flip over on that money flow and volume as well. Volume is quite low on XRP at the moment, and really losing those key levels. Jay Violet, this combo. Hey, we keep our chats interesting and fun around here, and we like to laugh. So really waiting to see if we can hold these key levels down here at $2.90 if we lose $3. Let's see what that 15-minute might be bringing this way for the morning. As you can kind of see, this downtrend is quite strong. The MACD is sitting below the zero line and really getting those bounces off the indicator line here. The MACD is staying at the bottom. You are seeing that volume staying quite sideways on things as the True 7 is clipping and going back down on things. So really indicating some more downside on things. That $3 range is going to be that first buying range we might see on XRP. I would look at if volume and money flow come back in together to see a bounce off of that $3 before we maybe continue that downtrend, depending on how much of a sell-off we see on Bitcoin. Got XRP done. Let's take a look at Sweet. I believe that is in that number 6 to 10 range. There we go. Let's zoom that on out to the 4 hour. Take a look at things there. You have that MACD getting that continued downside on things as our prime oscillator is looking to the downside as well, losing some levels that we had held back there. Gonna delete that line for now. And we do have another little area where we've managed to hold as well. It looks like we do have a moving average that is looking to be support as well. We got a nice little bounce off of it. If we do lose that, you might come in and see a bit more downside on things, especially with how bearish that 4 hour might be looking. It would be more of a multi-day move on things. Don't hold any sweet. I did for a while and I sold off and took my profits, and I just haven't messed with it since then. You know, it's not a bad project. It moves quite explosively when it moves, but there's definitely other projects I've been more interested in, like Near and Injective. And I did take a look at Vet. I got back into Vet just a little bit. So there's so many projects out there. It's kind of hard to just throw your money at everything. That's kind of not my investing style. I just invest in a few things and I ride it out. I do my trading, invest more into those. I don't like to spread my money too thin because I am still a working man and I don't have time to watch 50 million charts a day. So SWE is looking like it might hit a little bit lower on things. We do have that 15-minute kind of showing that we might see a little bit of a pushback and down to that $4.25 range on things. Your MACD is getting a bit of some curvature back to the indicator line. It has been doing battle with it quite hard on the bottom side of things. So if we do see that money flow coming in with buying pressure, then we might see this hold for just a brief second before we continue that move to the downside. Would have to kind of zoom out on things. There's a lot of negative space here, and I would kind of have to start looking at that $4.20 range. If we're unable to maintain that, you have some areas below that where there's some equal lows at about $4.04. Really going to depend on how much selling pressure we see in the long term on the short term on things with market open. We did have SWE, and let's take a look at Vet. I believe that's in my favorites. So scroll on down. Nope, that's my extra. Let's take a look at the favorites. Vet number 2 there. All right, we did lose that 50% fib line on that retracement. I was potentially looking at a bounce down here. I don't remember when I looked at Vet, but I guess I looked at it not that long ago. We did have some nice areas down here. I'm just going to hide that for now. It's been a while since I guess a few days where I was potentially looking at maybe a bounce off of that and a triple bottoming. But apparently not. We're seeing some more downside pressure on Vet. You do have this golden pocket being an area where we might see a bit of some bouncing. You have a lot of buying pressure below that $4 and about 0448 area where there's a lot of buying pressure underneath. So see if we can see some bounces on that to try to push back up to that 50% line on our retracement. Let's see what the 15-minute is bringing our way for the morning on things. Really seeing that roll back to the upside on Vet. So if we were able to make some higher lows here, might see a bit of a push back up to that 4048 range before we start seeing some continued resistance on things. Really going to need to see that money flow and volume coming in together to try to get back up to that 50% line on the fib retracement, which is that 0.49. I don't think we'll see all of that though. We did have XDC requested as well. Chat's really moving. I don't understand the issues with the sermon. Nothing about it anti-Christian. Some people may need to check who they're loyal to. I'm not sure what all of that's about, but I guess the world is going crazy. It's been going crazy though. So, Crypto Conspiracy, good morning to you, sir. Got conversations between pastors, need to quit being fake. We're all broken. We all have problems. They're not holy. They are just like you and me. I'm one of you, not better than you, period. Givers gain. I'm not sure what happened, but I definitely agree with that. I'm not religious myself. I'm spiritual, and one of the big problems with I've had with the church over my life has definitely been that right there. So I agree with that sentiment. Got Adam D in here. Good morning, people. On my way to work, enjoying the live, trying to maintain my 420 range and the flame. Good morning to you, Adam D. I hope you're having a great morning so far. Drive safe to work. Texting and driving is not great to do, but I appreciate you saying good morning in the chats. Let's take a look at XDC. That was the last thing requested, and then we'll wind down the show so we can all make it to Alex O Crypto. Let me get that on the right thing. Got XDC. I'm not sure if I've ever looked at this before. Let's see. Any of them where I've drawn on. Not seeing any that I've drawn on. So we can go with Bybit. Hopefully they have a lot of information there. Let's see on the 15-minute chart what the morning might bring our way. The low to the highs on things. I don't know why it's not extended out to the right. There we go. As you can kind of see here in this current range, we are holding, we are losing that 50% fib line and looking to hold that golden pocket there. We are seeing a heavy curvature on our prime oscillator to the downside with several reversal signals having flashed. Might continue to see some downside pressure on that. Your MACD is getting some curvature as well. Just cross that indicator line and the zero line at the same time. So might see a bit more of some downside pressure if we were unable to maintain that golden pocket, being that 11 cent 61 range, then you do have some heavy buying pressure right below that, sitting at about 0.1117 on things. We did get several bounces off of that before we moved to the upside on things. So if we are unable to maintain that, I would definitely look a little bit lower. Might see a little bit of a higher bounce on things. Let's get that drawn out. Where we did see a bit of some resistance there. You do have an area a little bit lower where we do have some strong, that strong bounce to the upside on things, where we might see that next move up. Definitely looking for a little more downside on things, especially if we don't maintain that golden pocket. Let's take a look at that hourly, see what. Looking very bearish there too. Getting that second curve over on the prime oscillator, looking a bit down. Money flow getting a bit of a curvature back up, but really looking like some selling pressure on things. Thank you to everyone that showed up today. I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you have a great day today. Make sure to trade safe because there's gonna be some volatility in these markets today. Tune in to the morning market report at 9:30 a.m. with Piper and OC Guy. We've got Trade Academy with Trade Intuition. We've got Crypto Nightcap at 8 p.m. Eastern Time with TradeFly and FD White, and Markets After Dark with Lunar Beaches Crypto. Other than that, I will see y'all in the Alexo Crypto chat, and make sure to wake up because today's going to be a good day.